Okay, folks, my name is David Devaney, and I am your 163 lecture and lab instructor for this spring semester. I thought I would go through a couple of Moodle issues, or kind of walk you through how to use Moodle for the lecture portion of the course, since I'll have you actually in lab. So I'll be able to talk a little bit more about this in lab, but sometimes there's a little bit of anxiety from students when they don't fully understand what's going on at the beginning of a semester. So this is kind of what your Moodle course will look like when you log in. If you're having login issues, you probably need to contact the distance learning folks for that. That's not something that I can usually take care of. If you can get logged into Moodle but you don't see this course, then sometimes I can take care of that myself. But once you get logged in and you see this, then it's a little overwhelming at first, and so I'll kind of walk you through some of this. This Generals tab up here is just some information that you can use about student support, any announcements that I may make, or some tutoring information. Course information, that's where you'll find my syllabus. You'll need to read over that and then take the syllabus quiz. Until you finish that syllabus quiz, you won't be able to see anything else in the course. So when you first pull this up, you're not going to see everything. You're going to see just this top stuff along with the syllabus quiz. So take that, it'll grade itself, and then the rest of everything else should open up. The first thing I've got in here is this Bozeman Biology Lecture Series. Those are just some supplemental lectures that you can use. I'll click on this and show you kind of what it looks like. It's a bunch of anatomy and physiology lectures that have been previously recorded, and so you can scroll through and use these, and I encourage you to. They're pretty good videos, along with the other videos that I'm going to have you watch in class. So those are just supplemental. You don't have to watch those. They're not graded, but I would use them to your advantage. And then finally we get into Chapter 1 stuff here, and notice that I tell you when the material under this section is due. So it'll be due after the first week, so January 14th at 11:55 p.m. That's when everything under this heading is due. And so a few things you've got here. One, this is just a PowerPoint presentation that's published by the actual publisher itself, so it goes right along with your book, and you can use that to kind of help guide you through the chapter as you're reading. The other thing I have here are some lecture videos. These videos are put together through Crash Course Biology, and so I'll just kind of show you what's up with these. You'll click on it, and then this will kind of open up, and then what will happen is, as you watch this video, you'll notice these little purple markers here, and so here's a true-false question that'll pop up, and I can show you that quickly. And so notice this is a true-false question that pops up. You'll answer that, and then the video will continue on. And that's kind of how I'll have all of these videos set up. You'll continue on watching. You'll have another question here that'll pop up, another one here that'll pop up, and then here at the end, you'll have kind of a summary. And this works a little differently in that once it gets here, let me show you what happens. Once you get to the summary at the end, then it just pops up this little summary finger here, and I couldn't really format it so that it would pop up the question like the others. So what you would do is just click on that summary question, and it'll pop up and it asks you to choose the correct statement, and then once you do that, you can submit it and continue on. So that's kind of the only difference. The rest of these will just pop up automatically. It'll pause the video, and you'll answer the question and continue watching until you get through to the end. You'll submit those to me again. It'll automatically submit them, and it'll automatically grade them, and so that's all pretty contained there. So those are some lectures that I'll have you watch, and then at the end of every chapter I'll have these reading quizzes that I want you to do. And so the way these reading quizzes work, you'll click on it, you'll open it up, and it's going to have at least 20 questions inside. And I let you take these reading quizzes as many times as you want to. It's going to pull from a batch of questions, so you'll see different questions each time, although some of them will repeat because my question pool is usually around 40 to 60 questions. It kind of depends on the chapter. But you can take these as many times as you want to. I'll only keep the highest grade, and I encourage you to take these a lot and often to kind of study. It helps you study for my exams. I make no secret that I'll end up pulling some of these questions for exams to encourage you to take them as much as possible. But I will also have, most likely I'll have some short answer questions on my exams too, and then grades will be kind of 50% multiple choice, 50% short answer as far as exams go. But use these reading quizzes, take them a lot and often. They will certainly help you with the course, both understanding the material and on the exams. So essentially a couple things you've got to do for lectures for me for each chapter. One is to watch the videos, answer the questions that go along with them, and take these reading quizzes. So you'll notice chapter 1 due January 14th. Then you'll scroll down and chapter 2 will be due January 21st. Again, there's another chemistry lecture for you to do there. And here's another thing I'll talk about. Notice this chemistry lecture has this H5P icon in front of it. So that means that's going to be one that's going to have questions in it that will be graded. Notice this chemistry lecture doesn't have that H5P, so that's not going to have any questions in there. That's a lecture that you can watch if you want to. It's not graded, however. And then we have the chemistry lecture quiz underneath. Right. And so the other way I have this set up is, so there's chapter 2, and then we'll go on down to chapter 3, which will be due January 28th. But if you'll notice, the way I set this up, I don't allow you to see chapter 3 until you've finished chapter 2. So chapter 3 will open up when you've taken that chemistry lecture quiz. Until then, you won't see it. Right. So for chapter 3, it's kind of a long chapter, so there's 3 lectures that I want you to watch here, answer some questions on, and then you can take the cells and tissue quiz, chapter 4, chapter 5, so on and so forth. And so this will kind of proceed week by week. I'll talk about this in lab as well, so don't get too overwhelmed with it right now. But go ahead and start working on it when you can. I'm going to send this video out a little bit early. You will not be able to see your Moodle stuff until the class officially starts, which is on Monday. So if you're watching this video before Monday, you won't be able to go into Moodle and do anything. So don't let that panic you either. But again, for lectures, what you'll have are PowerPoints to view, some videos to watch and answer questions on, and then you'll also have some reading quizzes as well. So I hope this video helps. We'll talk more about it in lab when we get there.